Thank you, Your Excellencies. Thank you, Your Excellencies. The launch of the rupee today signals a new era in Indo-Bhutan friendship, and I now invite your attention for a short video on the rupee.
Bhutan. The happiest country in Asia, whilst high in the Himalayas, is one of the closest allies to India and share a special relationship which has only grown more over the decades. May it be the culture, the simplicity and honesty of the Bhutanese people, cuisine or the mesmerizing beauty of Bhutan leading to a rise in tourism in Bhutan. Bhutan and India have always been friendly and supportive since many decades ever. Since 1947, when Bhutan was among the first nations to recognize India's independence. 2014, when our Honorable Prime Minister visited Bhutan and scholarships to Bhutanese students from India was set to double. Bhutan agreed to higher hydropower targets. An expansion of bilateral trade was discussed. The special relationship with Bhutan has only helped both the nations. For instance, in a year, 87% of the total visitors to Bhutan came in for travel and leisure, where majority are Indians. 2019, a big step for India and Bhutan. Collaboration between NPCI and RMA is conceptualized with the view to further improve the existing bilateral relationship between the two countries through people-to-people contact by way of digitization of banking services. This is an exemplary flagship project in the region, much in line with the objective of promoting less cash economy espoused by the Central Bank of both the countries, SBI being the settlement bank for RMA of Bhutan. With this tie-up, domestic and international RuPay cards will be accepted over 250 ATMs and 800 merchant outlets across Bhutan and would cover 100% merchant outlets and ATM terminals. The happiest country in Asia will now be happier with RuPay. Powered by National Payments Corporation of India. In association
Research and Education Network. Through this collaboration, Bhutan will have access to many global research and education networks and will also enable Bhutanese researchers to participate in world-class collaborative research projects such as e-learning, radio astronomy, telemedicine, crop research, etc. With this, I would now like to request the two Prime Ministers to jointly press the button for the launch of the interconnection.
Linking institutions of research and excellence across the country for dissemination of knowledge. NKN empowers the Information Superhighway of India. Implemented by NIC, it is government-owned, high-speed and secure. Over 1,711 plus institutes connected, thereby touching and empowering over 5 crore students and faculty. At the 18th SAARC Summit, the Honorable Prime Minister of India shared his vision for making the region more connected and more prosperous. After connecting with Sri Lanka and Bangladesh, NKN goes live with Bhutan. It will help Bhutan access global RENs like Singaren Asia Connect for Asia Pacific region, Giant for Europe, NordUNet for Nordic countries, and Internet 2 in USA. The benefits include connecting Bhutan to e-learning platforms like Swayam, NPTEL, Digital Library, content delivery network, and virtual classrooms. Possible certification for student exchange programs, telemedicine, participation in experiments with elite seed, weather forecasting will help in agriculture, etc. NKN has partnered with Drukren to build the information highway between India and Bhutan for knowledge sharing and collaborations.
Inaugurations, we now move on to witness the formal exchange of the Mangdechu Power Purchase Agreement and the 9 Memoranda of Understanding between various institutes and agencies of India and Bhutan. The 9 Memoranda of Understanding are on aircraft accident and incident investigation, between the Bhutan National Legal Institute and the National Judicial Academy of India, between the Jigme Singh Yuwanshu School of Law and the National Law School of India University, between the Department of Information Technology and Telecom, Ministry of Information and Communications Bhutan, and the Indian Space Research Organization, between the National Knowledge Network of India and the Department of Information Technology and Telecom Bhutan, and between the Royal University of Bhutan and 4 leading Indian universities. At this point, I request the Excellencies, the Foreign Secretaries of India and Bhutan to kindly step forward for the exchange of folders containing pre-signed copies of the Mangdechu Power Purchase Agreement and the 5 MOUs. Thank you, Excellencies. I request you to pose for a photo opportunity. Thank you, Excellencies. For the exchange of the 4 Memoranda of Understanding between the Royal University of Bhutan and 4 universities in India, I now request their Excellencies, the Ambassadors of Bhutan and India, to kindly step forward for the exchange of folders. Thank you, Excellencies. It is now my honor to request the 2 Prime Ministers for their press statement. And at this point, I would like to request protocol to escort their Excellencies to the podium, please. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, I now have the honor to request His Excellency Dr. Lote Tshering, Honorable Prime Minister of Bhutan, for his press statement.
Prime Minister Shri Narendra Modi, Excellencies, senior government officials from India and Bhutan, members from the media, ladies and gentlemen, Namaskar and Kuzuzangpula. It's a great honor for me and people of Bhutan to welcome Your Excellency and the team to our country. Actually, it was on your first visit to Bhutan in 2014 when you have touched the hearts of Bhutanese people. And I clearly remember Your Excellency saying that Bhutan and India are close, not because we have open borders, but because we have opened our hearts to each other. So your visit this time shows how much you meant it. Thank you, Your Excellency, for accepting my humble invitation and taking time out to visit us. Adding to the significance of this special visit is the venue in which we are seated today. This is the first fortress built by the founder of Bhutan, Shabdrung Ngawang Namgyal, almost 400 years ago. And it is very symbolic that in his spiritual presence today that we celebrate yet another milestone in Indo-Bhutan relations. Bilateral event at this venue is first of its kind, and I personally feel it is well deserved. I thank my king for allowing us to use this sacred and auspicious hall today. This shows how much our monarchs deeply cherish the friendship of India, and no wonder we call this relation unique. With the blessings of His Majesty the King this afternoon, I had the privilege of sitting down with Modi ji for a meeting that was heartwarming and fruitful. I felt like I was having a conversation with a very close friend, a friend who cares, a friend who means a lot to us. From our conversation, His Excellency's focus on neighborhood first policies, His Excellency's clarity on leading the biggest democracy and fastest growing economy in the world has caught my attention. For this, I commend Prime Minister Modi ji for his strong and dynamic leadership. India's stature and influence has grown in the international arena, and it has emerged as a global leader. Your leadership has a rare combination of courage, compassion, and caliber. We see you bold steps for the greater interests of your nation and its people. I offer my admiration and sincere appreciation for that. I assure Prime Minister Modi for Bhutan's unwavering support to India's leadership role in regional as well as global affairs. A politically and economically stable, successful India translates to a very prosperous region that also benefits Bhutan. I'd like to convey my deep appreciation to Prime Minister, your government, and people of India for your continued support in Bhutan's socio-economic development. The Mangdechu hydropower project, other programs, and the MOUs that we exchange today will go a long way in realizing our shared goals. I congratulate the highly professional team from both the countries for a successful completion of this project. I'm confident that the cost efficiency, timeliness of the completion of this plant will also be a source for inspiration for the future hydropower projects between our two countries. Even as we generate revenue from hydropower, we are happy that the energy will also, however small it may be, contribute to India's effort in doubling your GDP to $5 trillion by 2024. In addition to hydropower, we are also happy that Prime Minister Modi's initiative to establish South Asia Satellite and all your support to establish a ground station in Thimphu. We look forward to ISRO's assistance to venture into satellite and space technology. This is in line with His Majesty's vision for Bhutan to harness the benefits to overcome the challenges of a small country with very difficult geographical terrain. This support is timely. This will complement our digital Dougal flagship program to build a very efficient digital network